gonna be honest, Tom Holland is not hot.
It's kind of like about finding yourself and like being who you really are.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Cinema Scoop, and today we're going to take a trip back about 40 years and talk about some 80s movies.
40 years. I mean, that is such a long time. Like, think about all the achievements we've had in 40 years.
I know, it's really crazy. And because, it's an entire decade, we have a lot of movies. There's a lot of 80s movies. And the ones that come to my mind, it's got to be like Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Monster Squad, Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, Karate Kid, Terminator. They just came into my head right now. That was a lie. I'm looking at the teleprompter. But when I wrote it really quickly, so it was I thought of those pretty quickly. All right. So, those movies?
I mean, I know some of them. Some of them that you mentioned, I've never seen, never really heard of. Lethal Killer, Die Hard, those.
You've never seen Die Hard or heard of it?
Well, I've heard of it, never seen it.
Okay. Is it a Christmas movie, do you think?
A Christmas?
Do you know the gist of it? The gist?
No,
Wow.
Nothing about it.
Okay, it is a Christmas movie, okay?
I mean, Die Hard does not sound like a Christmas movie, but we've had the professional opinion of Mixer Hookstraight, so I guess I have to say it's a Christmas movie.
All right, and you're going to watch it later, okay?
I
and then
will
you're
watch
going
it
to see.
later.
You're going to see why it's a Christmas movie.
All right, I'll watch it later.
Yeah.
I mean, the 80s, like such. It's kind of like when movies really started. I don't know how to describe it. It's like such a revolutionary time. And when you think of the 80s, the first thing that popped into my mind, Back to the Future, an instant classic that kind of, I wouldn't say paved the way because I think it was late 80s when it came out, but it kind of monumentalized the 80s. That's something that they're really known for.
Yeah, I really, really agree with you there. I feel like Back to the Future is, I know this is coming from like a kid born in like 2007, but I think Back to the Future is like the most 80s movie, even though it takes place in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
But still, it just has the 80s feel to it. We'll get to more of that later about what makes an 80s movie really an 80s movie.
All right. Well, I'm coming from a kid that came from 2008. Wow.
Sorry.
Another one that kind of comes to my mind, definitely got to be Ghostbusters. Like, the characters, so iconic. The suits, like, even today, like, once in a while. I dressed up as Ghostbusters a couple of Halloweens ago, me and my dad. It was a lot of fun. I mean, there's not really something... There are a lot of things that you could really take away from it in the sense that, again, I keep saying it monumentalized the 80s. Everything is so iconic. It's just, you can't really pin one thing on the 80s.
Definitely true. It's actually been a while since I've like seen the original Ghostbusters all the way through. I honestly don't remember much of it, so that's when I really gotta rewatch. Just kind of refamiliarize myself with the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I know. And speaking of, refamiliarizing and all that stuff, another one instantly pops in, Tron. And that's just like, obviously, video game, very futuristic at the same time. It's kind of like something, I guess, that they expected the future to be like. And obviously, it's unfortunately not as cool. But something that I really liked from those movies, those speed cycles. Like, they're just so iconic. You could instantly recognize them from anywhere. I don't think we really had to watch the movie. And they did come out with a reboot a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think I actually never saw the original Tron. I saw a little bit of the remake or whatever, but it's been a while, and I only saw a little bit of it.
Yeah, I had to rewatch the original just so I can rewatch the remake, because you can't really watch the remake without watching the original.
That's true. I mean, I did that. Does it hold up? Does the remake hold up to the original?
Well, obviously it can't match with it, but it's definitely up there. Like, it's
That's
for a
good to
remake,
hear,
it's
yeah.
definitely good.
That's good to hear.
Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to be coming back soon, and we'll talk about Joe's favorite movies. Well, welcome back. Now we can talk about Joe's favorite movies, so take it away.
So before I get into some of my favorite 80s movies, I kind of want to discuss like some traits of an 80s movie. What really makes an 80s movie, because it's got to get that 80s feel, right? So what I'd say is like cheesy special effects. I mean, really everything from the past is going to look cheesy because like times change, culture changes, the technology we have changes. So of course it's going to look cheesy. Also, there's this thing called high concept. Basically, a high concept movie means it has a short synopsis, but it's attention grabbing. So, like, taking into account Die Hard, as I was saying, terrorists take hold a tower hostage, and John McClane has to try to stop them. High concept is short like that, and attention grabbing. And then some of the genres for 80s movies, I'd say it's like action, sci-fi, and comedy. Those are probably the three biggest ones that I think of. I know there's like rom-com stuff, but it's kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Who thinks of rom-coms when you're talking about the 80s? Like,
yeah.
Come on.
But like sci-fi, you were talking about Tron. That's definitely sci-fi. Star Wars, even Back to the Future, because like time travel stuff. Not too sci-fi though. And then action, like Lethal Weapon, and comedy. You had like Airplane and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And some of my actual favorite 80s movies, I don't know if you've seen all these. Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, the third one. That's my favorite. I really like the dynamic with Indy and his father. I think it was really well done. It has a ton of really awesome scenes, like the whole the three puzzles when he's getting the Holy Grail. I thought that was really cool. Have you ever seen any Indiana Jones movies?
No, I never have. I know. I need to. I need to go back.
Definitely need to. There's also The Empire Strikes Back. That's widely regarded as the best Star Wars movie out of all of them, really. And it's just a classic. So many iconic moments with like Han Solo and Carbonite, the meteor field, asteroid field, Hoth, and every time I see that movie, it just, I don't know, it makes me. I just have I have a lot of fun watching it,
Yeah.
And the last one, I didn't get to talk about this one during our Halloween show. But it's called The Monster Squad. It didn't really do too good when it first came out. It's not too well known, but plenty of people have heard about it. It's cheesy for sure. But that just adds to the 80s feel. And the monsters are really cool. It's all practical effects, which I really like, and it's really well done. All the kids, they're great actors. They have good arcs and development, and it's a really well done Halloween movie. Probably one of my favorite Halloween movies, other than Monster House.
I mean, I got to be completely honest with you. I'm going to be very transparent. You mentioned The Empire Strikes Back.
Please don't say you've never seen Star Wars.
I've never seen a single Star Wars movie.
Not even a single one
Not
ever?
a single.
Not ever? Have you ever
Only thing I've
considered?
watched Star Wars, The Mandalorian. I think I barely got to the first season, and Star Wars Rebels. The only Star Wars I've ever watched.
I think I might kick you out of here because you've never seen any movie ever.
Okay.
You've seen 2 movies in your whole life.
You didn't watch Tron, so you know what? I think we both got to get kicked out of
That
here.
was one. And then you haven't seen Die Hard or Star Wars or Indiana Jones.
All right.
I can name 5 movies, and then you're not gonna. You say.
Go ahead.
I haven't seen any of them.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I can't think of 5 movies right now.
Oh well, you had so many. You had so many before, and now they're just gone.
You could have talked about the ones I mentioned before. Do you remember any of them?
Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Monster Squad. Never heard of it. That's it.
That's all right.
Well, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Okay, I haven't watched it, but I know it is very iconic because I think it was one of the first movies that kind of intermingled animation and live action, as far as I'm aware.
It's just so fun to just watch. And by watch I mean look at the visuals and the effects and just the cartoons interacting with stuff from the real world. It's a really, really good movie, really well made.
It really was.
All right. Unfortunately, that wraps up everything on today's episode. And Nick, please just go home and just watch the movies. Just give them a try. All right.
I'll give them a try.
All right. Until next time.
I got a lot of homework to do.